Hi folks, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm here with this lawnmower which looks like an absolute cluster. I mean, look at this thing. The front axle's off, it's got a busted up wheel, the top even looks a bit rusty. My question to you guys is trash or treasure? You know, what do you think about this mower? You might be thinking, why the heck has Drew dragged this thing home? Well, I'll put it to you that one man's trash is another man's treasure. But anyway, you may be interested in what's behind me. We've got the go-kart and we've got this Victor Pro that we're working on. Well, I actually picked this up, the Masport up, at the same time that I picked the Victor Pro. It was just part of a bundle, and I said to the guy, you know what, I'll just take the lot and bring it home. Well, what I'm going to do today, I'm going to see if we can actually turn this into a little bit of treasure, because instantly I thought to myself when I saw this, I reckon this engine might be a good runner, and I've got an alloy deck out the back, a Masport alloy deck. So let's see if we can get this run. Let's do an engine swap and let's make something glorious out of this. But if you haven't seen the Victor go-kart in the background, do check that series out. There's 3 parts. We're going to get back to that soon, and we're actually going to get that finished off and running. You might have seen, if you've seen part 3, that I had some issues. Well, I've managed to get the engine straightened up already, so that's been filmed. And we're also going to get the carburetor sorted, the decompressor sorted. We're going to get that thing running really nice. But let's get back into this cluster of Masport. Let's see if we can turn this into a bit of treasure, folks. So let's get into it. So, and this thing even came with the mulching plug, but not sure that'll actually work with the alloy deck anyway. But let's start by checking the quality of the oil actually in this Briggs engine. Look, you can see it's a bit light on, but there is actually something on the end of that stick. So, good enough to see if she'll fire up, I reckon. And then let's have a look in the fuel tank. Yep, and you can see there's a bit of fresh fuel and it's actually clean, and it smells alright too. So the air filter is on wrong, so somebody's obviously been into the carburetor because it should be facing the other way. It's common that you see them pointing towards the front. I don't know why people don't take notice when they take them off, but anyway, let's do what we've got to do. Let's just see if this thing will start up. But I'm just going to prop the front end up under this bit of block of wood, just like that, good enough. And that should give us enough clearance with that blade. Feels like it's good compression. So let's come around, give it a few primes. It feels like it's priming. So I've given that 3 primes and just give it like half throttle. Move this busted axle out the way and let's give it a pull. Well folks, we have got a running Briggs Stratton engine. You saw it there folks, that actually started first pull, and I've never started this, so you know what I say, this looks like an absolute pile of rubbish, this mower. So one man's trash, another man's treasure. I got that alloy deck which is out the back behind the back corner of the shed. Let's go see if we can pull that out, and I'm going to do my obligatory pressure wash and degreaser on this engine, and we're going to get it swapped in and see if we can make something pretty nice. So let's start by giving it a thorough coating of degreaser, then the pressure wash, a bit of truck wash, and we'll get it cleaned all up. So now that we've cleaned up the engine, let's drain the oil out before we actually take the engine off of this deck. I've just run it for a few minutes so that the oil's nice and warm and it'll come out. So I'll just undo the little dipstick back here. We'll get that out. Got my oil drain pan here, and I'm literally just going to turn the mower up and upside down, and we'll drain it out where the dipstick tube is. So just turn it over just like this, and we'll see what we can get out here. Oh, we can see that's pretty black coming out. So whilst the last of the oil is draining out of that engine, let's clean up that old alloy deck, which I've just pulled out. You can see it's looking pretty ratty. It's got some leaves on it, but let's get that cleaned up. We'll get that degreased, truck washed, pressure cleaned, get it looking really nice and clean so we can get that good engine onto it. Okay, so what do you reckon? That engine into this nice alloy deck, I reckon that's going to turn this into a ripper of a mower. And what I'm also going to do is, because the handlebars were really ratty off of this one, they didn't even have the nice curve to make it easy to push. I'm going to put these handlebars on to this base as well, so I'm not even going to have to cut the cable tie or remove the accelerator mechanism there for the throttle. So let's do that, folks. Let's get these handlebars off now, and we're going to do this engine swap, make a beauty of a alloy based Masport mower with that nice classic Briggs 450 engine there. So let's flip this over so that we can actually get that engine off. So let's get that blade off to start with. And then we'll get the engine off as well. So as you can see, had a bit of trouble with those bolts actually sticking in the end of the socket. There's a bit of rust on them. This one's stuck in here now, so just gonna do what I did with that other one, screw that back in, and just have to get my pliers onto the socket and give it a bit of a whack if I have to. So just try and get that off now. You can see, yeah, it's just sticking in there. So I'll just give the heads all a bit of a spray down. But, is what it is. We'll get this engine across into that alloy base, and this old steel base, well, that can go to China, get mounted down and become a Haval or something. I really don't care because I want the alloy base. So let's get this alloy base in here, and let's see if we can get it bolted up. So how good is this looking already, folks? Let's just get this other handle on this side. A bit short on knobs at the moment, but you can see we've got just a nut on the other side has come with this one. It's been missing a knob, and I've obviously stolen knobs over time off of the handle that came on this base as well, but here's what it is. Let's get that folded up. So just like that. Because we're reusing those handlebars, don't even have to swap the throttle adjuster over. And it's got the nice handlebars that curve up like that, so they're super cool as well. Just get this one done up on this side nice and tight. Hey, and how good is that looking now, folks? Just check that out. She's a good mower. Now, before I go too far, we do need to refill this with oil, with engine oil. So I've got some good 4-stroke. She's an SAE 30 engine oil. We're going to fill that up now. It's not going to take much. I'm going to say, this is a litre bottle. I'm just going to say put 100, 200, 300, probably put 400 mils in to start with at a guess. And then we'll just check the dipstick and take it from there. But yeah, make sure we get that in since we drained the oil before we do anything, folks. Well, as you can see there, I had to have a few goes at tipping the oil in and measuring it, but if we take the dipstick out now, we can see it's absolutely spot on the full mark. I'll just bring you in close so you can actually see right there. You can see right on the full mark, so that's absolutely perfect. So we'll put that dipstick back in and have it go for a start to see if the engine's actually going to run. So put it down, I don't know, it's about halfway. Give it a couple of primes and we'll give that handle a pull. This engine has been upside down, so give it another pull. Oh. Look, and what a ripper that is. So why don't we now get that air filter off. I'm actually thinking I'm going to get this top cover off here because that's looking a bit ordinary. Let's see if we can mask it up a bit and put some black paint on it, make it actually look pretty good. So start by let's getting the air filter off, have a look at the condition. Who knows, haven't even looked, probably needs cleaning. So we'll get that off now. Regardless, it's on the wrong way, so you know, it's got to be taken off anyway. So get that main screw out there. Pretty damn simple these are. And the air filter just like that. Look, let's have a look underneath. Yeah, she's pretty grotty, so we'll get some warm soapy water. It's a little bit wet from the pressure cleaning as well. We'll get some warm soapy water, we'll clean that out, and then we'll get that top cover off. So to clean the air filter, I've literally just got a bucket of soapy warm water here, and you can see all I'm doing is just squeezing it in there, just getting that muck to come out. You can see straight away, well I can see, you might not be able to, but the colour of the water's just gone black instantly as we're just cleaning this air filter. And I'll just get as much of that out as I can. I don't actually have a spare around the place, but you know, we'll just get as much of that out as we can. You can see that water's gone really black now, and then you just sit it out in the sun to dry, hour or so, and that'll be fine. What we'll do is we'll get into the rest of cleaning up this mower while that's drying, and by the time we finish it'll be good enough. So whilst the air filter's drying, let's get this top cover off, which has got the starter on it. It's just 3 bolts that hold these on the Briggs. Once again, my bolts are getting stuck in the sockets. The rust that's around the place, just a 10mm, and obviously that one there's slightly smaller, but the wee one around the back here, get that out as well. This one must be an 8mm or something, I don't know. We've got that one at the back there, that is probably a 10mm there. And on that bracket, and just get that one there as well. Just grab an 8mm, and then we should be able to lift that straight off. And you can see there's a bit of crap in there, so we'll carefully clean that out, but we'll give this a bit of a paint first, and while that's drying, we'll give a bit of a clean up inside around the coil and that little bit of junk that's in around the head there before we put it all back together. So whilst that air filter's drying and that paint's drying, let's just carefully come in under here where that top cover was. Got a bit of degreaser here, and just give this all a bit more of a clean up under here without going too much to town. And just carefully wipe all of this muck out. Well, not all of it, but you know, a fair amount of it out. Just cleaning it up, just a little bit under here. You can't see it, but you know what? We're in here. The other stuff's drying at the moment, so might as well just do our best to get as good a result as we can. Just push that governor spring back out the way there, and you can just see there's just so much build up around the place that, you know, just leaving it there just clogs everything up, so just clean it up. So whilst everything's drying, I went digging around the boxes of junk that I got lying around the place and found another knob, because we're missing a knob, so let's get that on there now. Jeez, everything's a little bit rusty on this because it's just been lying out there behind the back shed for so long, but we're getting there now. We're just cleaning up the junk around the place, so get a little bit of the old WD-40 on there and spin that on. Perfect, I'd say. Now, just because I'm starting to get a little bit pedantic, I might just dust a a little bit of that black paint on these bars. I'm not going to go to town, just touch up really. Okay, so let's start putting all this back together now. So obviously the first thing to do is to put our top cover back on. So literally just slide that over the top just like this. And secret is actually just to make sure you have all of the little brackets lined up, because there's a few little double brackets that actually line up with the bolt holes. So grab our bolts to put those back in, those little 10 mils. Just get them started loose to start with, and the likes of this one around the back can be a little bit tricky because there's just that little extra bracket to get in there. And we just have this one around the back here. Now that's another one with that little extra bracket to make sure you get in there. So you just make sure you slide that up like that and just get him in finger tight to start with. Feels like that's going. So grab our socket on the impact and quickly just do the other ones up. And then importantly, just need to get our throttle cable hooked back on. Now the trick often is you just look for the marks where it previously was, so you can actually see here it's got marks on there, so it's actually pretty easy if you follow the marks. So just get that in like that. Otherwise you'll find it won't switch off properly or something like that. So nice. And then we need to get our air filter on. Now as I said, this was actually on backwards. It should come around like that on the air filter. She's nice and clean now, so I just pop that in like that and put the top cover on, and the screw that comes down through the center of the carburetor, and just grab our screwdriver and screw that in. Nice and firm. And then we've got this plastic little vanity ring which I pulled off, so just put that back on, and you probably saw that I masked up the original sticker. Let's see if we can peel that masking tape off. The masking tape and not the sticker is going to be the trick by the looks of it, so maybe I'll come around this side and see if I can get the masking tape off without peeling the sticker. Here we go. Whoa, how's that looking, folks? Nice. So we've got the original sticker just absolutely popping at the top there. Now whilst we're tidying it up, let's just get this masking tape that I put on the back of the deck off as well. So we can chuck the catcher on, and pops on like that. And then why don't we just give it a quick sort of wipe down with a bit of liquid polish, you know, just see how much we can get this deck actually looking a bit better. So there you go, folks, the Masport's done, and as you saw in the beginning, I posed it to you, trash or treasure. We picked up that other dud Masport, but I was able to look beyond that and see we had an engine there. And I thought to myself, is that a good engine? I knew that I had this alloy deck out the back. So as soon as we determined we had a good engine, I knew I was doing an engine swap, and look how good it's come up. We've got another one saved from going to Havals or whatever, going to the tip. So if you have liked the video, give us a like and drop us a comment down below. Tell us what you think about what we've done here today with the video. And if you have made it this far through, do consider joining the channel as a member. It's only a very small amount of money that we've got there each month, and it just helps me produce these videos for you. And by being a channel member, you get a number of features. You can use the DrewFixIt emoji, but also importantly, you get early access to videos and you get to see a bit of behind the scene content. So if you have liked the video, as I say, give us a like and drop us a comment down below. On the channel, you'll also find a bunch of DIY maintenance and servicing on vehicles. We also do the Mercedes, the Audi A3, Mazda 3, early Ford Falcon, got a Brina that pops up occasionally, Toyota Corolla, BMW. So there really is something for everybody on the channel. So do consider subscribing. But as I say, until next time folks, have a good evening.